So the New York Rangers are coming into Montreal on Saturday night to take on the Montreal Canadiens at the Bell Center. The Rangers coming off a 2-1 overtime loss to the Toronto Maple Leafs on Thursday, while Montreal are riding high after a 4-3 overtime thriller against the Nashville Predators. Let's talk some puck. Hey gang, Costa here from PuckTalk Montreal, thanking you for joining this particular episode. Not only that, but I also have to thank you. We've reached our 3,000 subscriber milestone for the channel, and I wanted to thank all of you for your input, for your loyalty, and for your continued support. And as we look forward to that, we look forward to more partnerships, including the ones we already have with our partners, starting with Insta Customs. They are the #1 destination for custom apparel printing, the highest rated print shop in Canada with over 3,000 Google reviews and a 4.9 star rating. They print on all your favorite clothing, t-shirts, hoodies, polos, hats, beanies, tote bags, even coffee and travel mugs, and yes, they even offer embroidery. Most orders are printed and shipped the very same day, and large orders in less than 3 days with free shipping. Located on Stanley Street, tying in nicely with the Habs' ultimate goal of winning the Stanley Cup, they're open 7 days a week, so whether you're buying something for your loved one, yourself, or your business, trust Insta Customs. Visit them in person or order online at instacustoms.com. Also, our other partner, cheapesttshirts.ca, proudly Canadian and trusted by thousands of customers. Cheapesttshirts.ca delivers unbeatable value. You'll always get the lowest prices, plus same-day shipping, even next-day delivery, so your order arrives fast. With over 1,000 products and more than 36 trusted brands, their selection is unmatched. Cheapesttshirts.ca is the go-to source for businesses, events, apparel printing companies, and resellers, or people just wanting the best deals on everyday clothing. Plus, enjoy free shipping on larger orders and a simple, easy-to-use website that makes ordering online a breeze. Get the cheapest deals in Canada today at cheapesttshirts.ca. So let's take a look at the New York Rangers lineup. What does it look like? Well, it's not much different than it was last year, with one exception, the fact that they've got Mike Sullivan behind the bench. So as we take a look at their lineup, here we are. Let's take a look at their forwards, starting with Artemi Panarin, Mika Zibanejad, and Will Cooley. That's your first line. Second line for the Rangers, Alexis Lafrenière, JT Miller, Connor Sheary. The third line, Juuso Parasanen, Noah Laba, and Taylor Radish. And on the third line, Adam Edstrom, not Engstrom like in Montreal, Sam Carrick, and Matt Rempe. On defense, you've got Vladislav Gavrikov and Adam Fox leading the way, Brendan Schneider and Euro Vakanainen, God, I think I got that right, as a second pairing, and then Matt Robertson and Will Borgen rounding out the bottom pairing. Here's the fun part in all this, is that in goal, the Rangers have two studs, Igor Shesterkin and Jonathan Quick. That's where they have a distinct advantage over Montreal. I'm not saying that because Montreal has Sam Montembeault, but because of the fact that, number one, Montembeault does not nearly have the pedigree as of either of those guys. When you're talking about Shesterkin and you're talking about Jonathan Quick, Quick is going to be a Hall of Fame goaltender, bar none. And Igor Shesterkin is working his way up there slowly but surely. Whereas Sam Montembeault is still trying to find his game. Although he has done well in the last couple, he still needs a lot to clean up because his save percentage right now is hovering around .870. That's not very good for a starting goaltender in the NHL. But getting away from goaltending, what are some of the things that I think the Montreal Canadiens are going to have to do to beat the Rangers? Well, number one, the biggest problem that the Rangers have had, they haven't scored at home yet, although this is a road game. They've had trouble scoring consistently, especially with the fact that they got Vincent Trocheck out. Vincent Trocheck wins a lot of faceoffs for them. So they're missing him big time. So what do you need to do? Well, in order to take away and exploit New York's offensive inconsistency, you need to make sure you apply a pretty heavy forecheck on their forwards, especially on the breakouts, to force them to make mistakes and force them to get away from playing in transition. Montreal, their strength is playing in transition. So they absolutely, positively need to counter that against the New York Rangers. Forcing turnovers in the neutral zone is going to go a long way to counterattacks for Montreal. And so making sure that they control the middle of the ice and the neutral zone is going to be paramount. And of course, the Habs need to make sure they keep their defensive structure tight. Because when you're looking at the forwards from the New York Rangers, their bottom two lines, especially with Matt Rempe on the fourth line, they can get quite physical. Sam Carrick as well. So in that particular sense, the defense for Montreal is going to need to play a tight game, get the pucks out quickly to be able to mitigate some of that physicality. Not to mention that, especially against lines that contain guys like Mika Zibanejad and Artemi Panarin, who like to move the puck around, get it to guys like JT Miller in the slot for one-timers. You need to make sure you get the pucks out clean. And the one bright spot in all of that, and asking about that, is the fact that the Canadiens have actually done that since the beginning of the season. If there's been one strength Montreal has had throughout the lineup, it's been their defense. I know that Arbor Jacki was out last game and Jaden Struble was in, but overall, their defense has played extremely well, especially when you look at the likes of Lane Hudson, Noah Dobson, and last game especially, Mike Matheson. The second thing the Canadiens are going to have to do to get the best of the New York Rangers is win the special teams battle. The Canadiens' power play has not been running efficiently. In fact, right now I think they sit at 3-18 for the season. Not very good at all. And a lot of that comes with the fact that there's been adjustments made on the Canadiens' power play. As opposed to last season where you had Nick Suzuki on the right side, he's on the left along with Cole Caufield. Caufield playing further towards the actual goal line. That could change. The Canadiens may adjust that, but at the end of the day, they need to be more efficient. They've got to get the pucks over to Patrick Laine for one-timers. Noah Dobson admitting that his timing on those passes to Laine has been off. They're going to work on that. We know they will because the players recognize it. And that's the most positive part here. It's not the coaches talking about what the players are doing wrong. It's the players recognizing what they're doing wrong. So the fact that they know and the fact that they can sit down and say, you know what, let's take a few minutes after practice to work on how quickly I get you the puck, how quickly you want it, where you want it. Do you want it on your back foot? Do you want it away from your body, close to your body, etc., so that the defenseman knows what kind of velocity he has to make the pass to. That goes without saying. And then, because of the firepower on the Rangers, the Canadiens need to be extremely good on the penalty kill. They're hovering around 80% right now. That's not great, but it's not bad either. They've got to mitigate the mistakes. We saw one that cost them a goal, the power play goal that Steven Stamkos scored just the other night for the Nashville Predators, where Kane Gooley was coming back to try to cover the net front, and when sliding, the puck hit his skate and went in. They have to get away from those situations. That shot should have been Dobish's all the way, and Gooley should have gone to the net front presence, the forward that was there at the side of the net. That's not what happened. Puck ended up in the back of the net. It is what it is. It's a power play goal for the Nashville Predators. The Canadiens need to be better than that. They need to be more precise when it comes to their execution on the penalty kill. Get in there quickly on the forecheck. When a player's got the puck, apply pressure. Don't let him think. Guys like Panarin thrive on having time with the puck on their sticks to figure out where they're going to go with it, right? Do they go to the corner? Do they go cross ice? Do they go to the far corner? Do they go to the slot? Panarin can do all that because he's an elite level passer, right? The same holds true for Mika Zibanejad. When you give him the puck down in the corner, right, he's able to move the puck around and distribute it like no other. They have elite puck distributors. They have elite finishers. So the Canadiens need to be mindful of their penalty kill and win the special teams battle both on the penalty kill and on the power play. Then you have to take a look at the goaltending battle. Obviously, New York with a marked advantage with both Shesterkin and Jonathan Quick. And so the Canadiens are going to need to get better at moving rebounds away. Sam Montembeault is going to have to be good at smothering the puck and not playing it. He's going to need to be able to play the puck in tight and not allow it through the crease as he did against the Seattle Kraken. Imperative that rebound control be extremely strong in tomorrow's hockey game and that they limit the amount of lateral movement for the Rangers. It's their specialty. And if they keep the shots to the outside and away from the house and away from the middle of the ice, they'll be successful. There's no two ways about that. The Rangers like to take shots from the middle, but as we've seen through the first few games of the season, they've been limited to the shots coming from the outside, and that's why they haven't been able to score at the clip that they're normally used to. Montreal Canadiens key players need to deliver. So whether it's Cole Caufield, who has been delivering 5 goals in 5 games, or Lane Hudson, There are some guys that need to get off the schneid. Kirby Dach needs to start scoring. Zach Baldzuk has to get back to scoring. Ivan Demidov has to continue playing the way he does and dominate a little bit more, especially against those physical third and fourth lines. He's going to be able to take advantage of it, given his skill level. Nick Suzuki's got to continue his elite puck distribution and pot a couple of them. No more goalposts. Put the puck in the net. And Juraj Slafkovsky, he needs to start putting the puck in the net, and he absolutely needs to play a physical game against those top two lines. It's imperative. The top two lines, other than maybe JT Miller, don't have that much physicality for the Rangers. So if Montreal can establish some kind of physicality against those lines, that being Juraj Slafkovsky, possibly a Zach Baldzuk on the second line, then that's going to cause the Rangers fits. And when the Rangers get away from their game and they get emotional, it's curtains, for lack of a better term. A big thing for Montreal is home ice. We know that. Take the energy, absorb it, use it. They did it last night against the Predators. Oh my God. The energy in that building, especially after Cole Caufield scored the goal late in the third period to tie it, and then the cheer and the crazy loudness when he scored in overtime with just 3 seconds left, it's epic. And you want to continue to take advantage of that energy. It belongs to you right now. You have all that. Use it. And of course, very important, the Canadiens have been this so far this season. They need to continue doing it. They need to remain disciplined and limit the amount of turnovers. They have done a masterful job of not giving away the puck as often as they did at the beginning of last season. They need to continue doing that. And so those are the 6 points that I think the Montreal Canadiens are going to need to focus on to be able to win this hockey game. Now, what does that mean? Well, the Canadiens, after this game, they end up playing the Sabres and then they go out west. So they need to clean up some stuff. At home is the best place to do it, especially when we're talking power play. You know, you've got your practice facility, you've got all your video amenities, everything that you need to be able to turn this thing around. And whether it's an adjustment, going back to what worked last season, whatever the case may be, right? You can mix it up. Your power play doesn't have to be a one-trick pony where, okay, you've got guys on one side, guys on the other. There have been power plays in the National Hockey League that have switched from the 1-3-1 to an overload mid-power play. So why not allow the team to do that? Why not let them be creative that way and take advantage of what the positioning of the defense is in order to figure out what system they want to use? And get away from fixing positions for guys on the ice. Last season, Nick Suzuki played more like a rover on the power play. He wasn't in one particular spot. He would go from left to right to behind the net to wherever he needed to be in order to make a play. Now, what we're seeing this year is he's more often than not on the left-hand side of the ice, okay, and he's unable to really use the entire ice, and his space is limited. So you're taking away one of Nick Suzuki's greatest tools, and that is his versatility. Stop. Let him run freely on that first unit. Let him create. If you're going to allow Lane Hudson to come down low with the puck and come back up high, then you're going to need to allow Nick Suzuki to do the same, because both of them are elite playmakers. There's no argument to be had on that point. So if they're going to be elite playmakers don't work from one particular space on the ice. They work from everywhere. So let him use the entire offensive zone to do his job, and you're going to see more success in the power play. The same holds true for Ivan Demidov. If Demidov is on the right-hand side and he sees that he doesn't have success, then let him move to the left. Let somebody shift over. Create versatility. That change and that dynamic is going to be what confuses other teams and allows the Canadiens to have better success in the power play. So don't take it away from your players. Let them grow with it. And, of course, I mentioned it before about the goaltending. Sam Montembeault has to be better than he was in the first few games. Granted, in the last game he played against the home opener against the Seattle Kraken, I can tell you one thing. Some really bad bounces in that game led to some goals for the Kraken. So, you can't really blame the goaltender for that, but the cross-ice pass from Shane Wright over to Jaden Schwartz, that could have been stopped by a simple poke check. Little things. Now, we saw adjustments from the second game of the season to the home opener by Sam Montembeault. Let's see whether or not now, after he took a day off and allowed Dobish to play against the Predators, whether or not he's going to be, one, rested, and two, better at play recognition. One thing I'm going to be watching about Monty is his puck tracking. It's been one of those things that's bugged me, and I've questioned whether or not he's got issues with his eyesight, because at distance he seems to have trouble finding the pucks as quickly as he does when they're in tight. When the pucks are inside the hash marks, he seemed to be a hell of a lot better as a goaltender. It'd be interesting to see what those numbers are as far as long distance shots. You know, them coming in, him reacting at the last minute, creating rebound opportunities. From in tight, I think he's better at rebound control than most of us give him credit for. But from outside that area, from, let's say, the top of the circles to the blue line and out to the hash marks, he seems to have trouble with rebound control. So hopefully he can change that up. Tell me what you think the keys to the Canadiens winning are for tomorrow night's game. And you know what? If Paul Cuthbert's watching, Paulie, put it in the comments. Let me know what you think, man. I know you've kind of backed away from the Blue Shirts a little bit, but you've been a lifelong Rangers fan. Let me know what you think. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you after tomorrow night's game. Go Habs, go.